All right, guys, we're recording on Sunday morning. Lions 8-8 at Lambeau Field to take on the 8-8 Packers. There's a lot of jawing going on about Aaron Rodgers, and Lions are going to come to win. And we don't know if they're going to be playing for a playoff spot or not. It all depends on that Seahawks game, the 4 o'clock game. But even if the Seahawks lose, what do you think's going to happen?
Let me ask you guys this before we get into that. What did you guys think of them making this a Sunday night game, knowing that it could mean nothing for us? I mean, not necessarily nothing, but in terms of playoff hopes, it could mean nothing for Lions fans. Probably will mean nothing for Lions fans come 8 o'clock tonight. Were you guys still okay with this decision?
Yeah, because it still means the Lions or the Packers have to win to get in. So even if it's nothing for the Lions could knock the Packers out of the playoffs, which would be pretty cool. And it's Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau Field. I mean, that's just
Sunday
a cool.
night.
That's a cool game.
I'm 100% on board.
Yeah, I mean, it's we've talked about with the Lions. Like, you just want to have the Lions playing meaningful games by Thanksgiving. That's like all we want. We're getting in the new year, January. The
Week
Lions
18.
are essentially playing a playoff game. This is essentially a playoff game. I mean, anyone who's not juiced up for this game, you're not really an NFL or a Lions fan, because this is awesome. It's Lions Packers at Lambeau Field. It's going to be cold as hell. It's going to be cold as hell. That doesn't really make sense, but
no,
it's going to be really cold, maybe snowing. Aaron Rodgers, like you said, talking trash. Lions don't like him. He doesn't respect the Lions. Lions can knock him out. I mean, it's going to be it's awesome. Sunday Night Football, Tirico and Collinsworth, it's awesome.
No, it is going to be. I love, Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Sunday Night. He's going to come out slinging, man. And that makes me very nervous. I'll be honest. If Seattle wins and then, Aaron Rodgers comes out first drive, throwing it all over the yard, I think it could get ugly. I hope it doesn't. Fingers crossed it's a good game. I really do think we could see an ugly game. I mean, Packers are playing. It's so crazy. It's even crazier that the Packers are in this scenario than the Lions. I mean, they were worse off than the Lions were, whatever, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. And Aaron Rodgers just stayed the course, kept leading them to victory. They're playing so well. He was talking on Pat McAfee's show how, it's like all that matters is how you're playing right now into the year. Yeah. I mean, look at somebody like the Eagles. They're stumbling into the playoffs. Obviously, that has to do with Hurts being hurt. But it's like they're stumbling in. The Lions seem to be playing pretty well, and the Packers are playing maybe better than anybody. So it's just going to be really fun. Old school Packers versus Lions Sunday night game. It's going to be 0 degrees there. It's going to be so damn cold, but it'll be fun to watch. I mean,
we know what's on the line. We know that the mindset could change a little bit for the Lions if Seattle does win. But, when you sit back and you look at this is the final game of the regular season. The Detroit Lions are in it. Like Matt said, this is the first round of the playoffs for the Lions, any way you slice it. But how do we look at this right now? Right now, what is our confidence level? Because there's probably a smaller piece of me right now going, oh, it's going to be a turd. They're going to lay a turd and they're going to get drilled by the Packers. But the other part of me, I want to keep the good karma going. I believe in this team. I think they're going to come out and ball out. I just have a feeling because, they're on the road. Nobody thinks they're going to beat the Packers at Lambeau, no matter what. I just got a feeling they're going to play a really good game.
It's going to come down to Jared Goff and that run defense. We saw what the Panthers did to the Lions in Carolina, a couple of weeks ago, running for 350 yards. And the Packers have one of the best rush offenses in the NFL. So if the Lions can stop the run and, hope that Aaron Rodgers doesn't sling it all over, like you said, Jared, I think they got a chance. I think they can get up for one game. I think this is what you bring Dan Campbell here for. One game that he can go in there and motivate the hell out of those guys and be like, you're playing in a playoff game. You're the Detroit Lions playing in a playoff game at Lambeau Field right now. Like, what else do you want to ask for? I mean, this is what you want. This is why you play in the NFL.
There's 2 guys I'm looking to make some big time plays tonight. Amon-Ra, let's see what he's like in prime time, man. I love him. He's my favorite player on this team. Player. So much fun. I love everything about how he plays, man. And then Hutchinson. It's got to be a Hutchinson game. He's got to get pressure on Rodgers. We all know what happens if you don't get – I mean, most NFL quarterbacks, but especially Rodgers, if you don't get pressure on him, he will pick us apart. So I'm looking at Hutchinson, and I'm looking at Amon-Ra. They got to have big games, and especially Jared Goff has to have a big game as well.
Yeah, I don't think I talked about it. I think I tweeted it a while back in the last game against the Bears. Notice how Hutchinson has slowed down a little bit, whether that's coaching, whether that's himself, but he's not running like a wild chicken, and he's containing on the end nowadays. I mean, he's made that step, and I think he's going to be nothing but better.
Yeah, and he needs to be today, because I think that's big. If you can pressure Rodgers and sack him a few times, get him frustrated, get him yelling at his wide receivers and his offensive line, you can kind of get him to fall apart a little bit. If they let Rodgers just chill back there, he's going to pick them apart, and we know how that.
And you know, here's this is just such a fun game for so many reasons. Like you said, even if there's no playoff hopes on the line for the Lions, Rodgers is just must watch. He's been my favorite team to watch, the Packers, this entire year outside of the Lions. I mean, he wears his heart on his sleeve. You know, if a wide receiver screws something up, surely they're going to go to the Exmo, slow motion replay of his face right after it. So I just can't wait to watch every second of this game. Let's just hope it's a good one. Even if the Lions end up losing, let's just hope it's a memorable game. Kind of what we always hope for with like a Michigan State, or Ohio State Michigan game. Just give us something to remember.
Couldn't have asked for a better ending.
Yeah, and are you guys on the side of? I've seen some people saying that they hope that the Rams lose, so the Seahawks win to help the Lions draft pick. And I'm just like, I don't understand as a Lions fan how you can say that. Like, no, you want to make the playoffs. How often do the Lions make the playoffs? And like to the point you said, Jared, if they can somehow make the playoffs, play in the way that they are,
who wants to play them?
Who wants to play them? I mean, they might match up with the Vikings, who they've already beaten, so it's kind of like the Jaguars. The Jaguars won last night.
Yeah.
They're a team that's playing really well going into the playoffs. I mean, they're a team that you probably don't want to play right now. So, no, I want the Lions to make the playoffs. I want them to go beat the Packers, make the playoffs. I'll take my chances.
If I was, rooting for the best story, I mean, how magical would it be if Matt Stafford took off the sling, put his pads on, and just said, you know what, this is for Detroit. I'm going to go out here and give it my all. I mean, what a story that would be.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, we'll see what happens, man. I mean, it sucks because it's, of course, there's a distraction for the Rams. McVay basically sounds like he's like leaving.
Yeah.
That comes out a day before this game. So
terrible.
We'll see where they're at. I don't know. It's going to be fun to watch. We have basically two Lions games today. First the Rams game, and then the Lions game tonight. Yep. So it'll be a good NFL Sunday.
Just wish the Rams they were at home, but that's the way it is.